That was amazing. Don't mind if I join you right here.
Not at all.
One more round of applause, please, everybody. Please, one more round of applause. Please, 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 please. That was a beautiful, beautiful set. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for joining us here on KPSU.
My pleasure.
On behalf of the whole campus, the whole students, I know that everybody listening right now. Thank you so much. I actually don't have words to begin to describe your music. In Spanish, I would say re lindo, amazing,
Qué
beautiful,
bueno.
but re lindo is like
Gracias.
even prettier than pretty. So I don't even know what more to say.
Spanish does that.
It does. It does. If you don't mind, just start off. How did Blackpool start? Or when did you decide to start it off with Blackpool?
Should I just my
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, had it been like I started college and I started doing drawing and painting and trying to be an art major, so I'd make all these weird paintings and I'd just call it Blackpool. And then when music came along later, I had all these kind of drawings that said Blackpool already, so I was like, all right, I'll just use these with the music. But the way Blackpool kind of came around was like a weird dream I had with like, you guys know, with all this camera equipment, like a nice panning shot down like a cobblestone rainy night in some foggy town, gas lamps and stuff, and like those neon street signs with like that Chinese, kind of Chinese restaurant font, which said Blackpool. And I was like, all right, that's it. That's going to be it. Those two words sound cool together. Thought so.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, I started a few years ago just making songs.
Ah,
Had to call them something, yeah.
Oh, beautiful, amazing. But I mean, you definitely been playing the guitar way before that. Like, when did you start picking up Did you start with the guitar? Did you start with any other instrument? Or?
Yeah, my dad tried to teach my sister how to play guitar, and I was just like the bratty kid, kind of running around trying to annoy them, but trying to distract the process. But then, sure enough, later that afternoon, he heard the guitar being played. He's like, "Oh, she's getting it!" And he walked in, and I was playing what he was teaching her. So he's like, "Oh, he's paying attention somehow." Running around, so he just started teaching me and just learning from dad. Yeah.
Oh, but nice.
Yeah, playing a long time, I suppose, but it's never something I put too much pressure on. I think that's why I haven't like stopped doing it.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Stopped soccer, stopped everything else, but yeah.
But not guitar. No, that's beautiful, amazing guitar
Thank
picking. What's your usual setup? I mean, do you have the guitar? Do you have any of the instruments?
We a lot of the music has just been me and myself and I making it. But I've had amazing friends that have followed me up on this journey to your guys' beautiful city of Portland. And we went to Seattle as well, in San Francisco. And so my drummer, Dino Crescentini, he's sitting right over here, but amazing drummer and just a good friend all around, has always been really on the fly, which is how this music thing has been for me. Like, not like, we're going to be in a band, I want to be in a band, like, when are we practicing? He's like, you need a drummer Saturday? I'll be there. Like, it's just that. So it's worked with my crazy, like, dynamics, because I'm not too consistent, supposedly. And then just, like, making friends, making music. In the past couple of years, I met a good friend named Ava Barlow sitting over here, who's a great songwriter and singer as well. And she's been coming up on stage with us at these shows, singing backup and doing percussion. So we've been rocking as a three-piece and played a couple dive bars, played a basement party in Seattle, played a cool venue called Slim's in San Fran. It's just been a blast. So we've been doing the three-piece. Yeah.
No, amazing.
So our live stuff, we have the full drum and everything.
Gotcha.
But also really enjoy doing little solo sets. It's kind of how it started, for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, but nice. I like a lot how like your music is it's full of imagery to begin with. It's almost like reading a poetry full of imagery, but it's very tied to places. And so, for example, the song that you describe about Nicaragua, you don't mention Nicaragua as a place, but you can hear the rain falling in your music. You can hear it all throughout the song. I understand that this is your first time up here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you like? Is it a purposeful thing in your songwriting to blend in the imagery, or that's just how the music comes out of, or how do you make it so visual, your songs?
It's funny you say that, because that's the entire goal of my music. It's not a folk band or a blues band or a rock band. When people ask, I say like smooth rock, mellow music, but I want to give people what I want to like kind of coin someday as like dreamscape. It sounds like a synthesizer, but it's like, no, it's a place to close your eyes and music to create an atmosphere for you to walk through this like landscape of your memories or your expectations or your hopes or your dreams or whatever you want. Just kind of like we all have a soundtrack to our life. Like, you might as well have a little soundtrack to your daydreams. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
Kind of going for that. That's
Nice,
cool
no,
you
it-
say it. That's awesome.
No, it's a beautiful soundtrack. It's a great landscape. It's like a painting you have on the wall. You know, you're
Yeah.
listening to the music, then you can imagine the painting just forming in your eyes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Back to places and stuff. Are you originally from Southern California? Or you were just trying to escape the cold?
Born and raised, Long Beach, California. Lived in the same little bedroom whole life, and
Nice.
did a little time in San Diego and whatnot. But a few years ago, I started just running south to Central America. Really fell in love with the place, Gallo Pinto, and
Yeah.
you know the whole thing, rainforests and all that, beaches and.
Which particular place of South America?
I
Or Central America, my bad.
my dad he took me on a trip to Nicaragua. We did some surfing, and day 3 I just fell in love, and told him I was gonna move there, and he's like, I was 21, just dropped out of college, and he's like, all right, I took you on a surf trip to kind of make you feel better, but like you gotta get a job, and I was like, 2 months later, I was on a plane to Nicaragua with the one backpack and one guitar case.
Bet.
Yeah, and just kind of worked for my friend over here, and doing moving jobs, and just worked sun up to sundown, saved my cash, and got on a plane and stayed for 6 months.
Beautiful.
Not knowing anyone, just went down there, and that's where I really found music on that first trip. Really kind of found myself, kind of found like a real purpose. I felt like I was alive again. I was kind of in a slump just with being a 21-year-old. Like,
Sure.
life's so hard, but like you can really get in a mental place that like isn't fun, and
Exactly.
and it's hard to like communicate that, so you like feel a little helpless. But so that like that pure nature and beauty of Central America, Nicaragua specifically, is what just ripped me out of that slump and was like, look at the world, dude, it's beautiful, go have fun.
Nice.
So I knew I needed more of that for a bit, so I stayed a while, and then I came home, and then I went back, and then came home again, and coming up on 2019, I met a friend from Australia, and he told me all about Panama, and just we shared enough stories to make me buy a plane ticket like halfway through the conversation. And yeah, I went and did another 6 months in Panama this year, and kind of just really was like, I'm focused on writing new songs and gonna like really make a productive year out of not even like really doing much, like taking a 6-month vacation, but making it productive.
Yeah.
Just writing songs. I rent a little house outside of cellular data, no Wi-Fi, none of that. Mango
Just your
trees,
guitar, that's it.
pineapple tree, or not pineapple trees. You can grow pineapples in the ground, but coconut trees right on the beach with a little river running by it, and
Oh man, that
I
sounds like
just-
paradise right there.
I enjoyed myself. Yeah, it's good. Just sat on the porch and wrote these songs that you guys just heard.
Oh, beautiful,
But
beautiful.
yeah, so I'll be back down there soon. I'm just trying to get some more puzzle pieces on the Blackpool board down, and then I'll be able to run away for another few months.
No, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful, man. I want to get back to that Panama trip, especially with places and stuff.
Totally.
But in the meantime, you were talking about earlier that how like if you want to go ahead and just water, I'll take over with a question. How like you were in that slump and you were trying to find yourself. I know you did the lovely song you dedicated to KPSU. Thank you so much. The guitar solo. We'll have it in our hearts. Trust me, we'll hold it really dear. But I would like to dedicate to the whole student body the song you played right after that, the one that is Just Be Yourself.
Yeah,
because
man.
this is a time
Totally.
in where like we're in the middle of the term. It's a Tuesday. Everybody's like feeling like it's the end of the world because you haven't finished a paper for tomorrow,
Totally.
and the winter just set in. Like it's gray out here. I know it's your first time here, but this is like what's gonna look like between now and March. So it's
Sorry, y'all.
So hey, we're used to it, but like
Yeah.
that feeling starting to setting. Is one of
Totally,
those
man.
those
Yeah, that's a
rough days.
weight. That's a weight without that UV.
Exactly.
Light. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. But I want to dedicate it to the student body so that they're reminded to always be themselves no matter what. And what
100%.
got you to that song? I want to hear like what was the process behind that song? It's such a beautiful song.
It's actually a prayer
Huh.
that I was really influenced by. I think it's I'm not sure whose it is. It's just called a Savior's Meditation, and it has this list of just these little innuendos like do good, you'll never regret it, and like do bad, you won't forget it. Little things that goes on and on and on. I had to take a couple of those and make it into a song, and it just kind of encapsulated be yourself, and then that's the game for all of us, right? Like
Exactly.
student body and grandma and grandpa, it's everyone's game, man. That's
Yeah.
life. Like it's just a reminder, to just relax. It's gonna be fine. Everyone's gonna be fine. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. That's the message at the end of the day, that we're all gonna be all right.
Yeah, man. Just being yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just quick round of questions. Does anybody in the audience have a question right now for no pressing? Please, 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 please.
I always find it interesting.
One sec.
So I always find it interesting when I talk to different kind of bands. Your music, you said, doesn't really fit a specific genre. When you listen to other music yourself, is there some kind of crazy genre you're kind of drawn to, or is
Full on. Oh
Full
yeah.
on.
It's a pretty wide board, but you know, with the power of Spotify and your Discovery Weekly just giving you a random little like band from Uganda that was like hot in the 70s, you're like, what? They have one album and you're like, I love this album. Like, Spotify brings that to you. It's crazy. So finding like these Afrobeat records and stuff from like the 60s and 70s and stuff is unreal. There's like some good stuff that's just groovy that you put on, and it's like cocktail party, trying to read a book. It's kind of all around like a good song. But yeah, just and like older reggae, kind of the been listening to a Peter Tosh album a lot, kind of nonstop in the van. Yeah, so old smooth reggae, just of course Bob Marley and like that. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm a big Devendra Banhart fan. Yeah.
I like on the matter of that.
I like obscure though. I like obscure and like not your usual. Yeah.
Nice.
And
nice.
soundtracky. Like, I've been told like, yo, your playlists are like all like a movie score. There's no like song after song or song. I'm like you could just click beginning to end on some of my ones that I'd send to my friends, and it's just like these instrumentals and stuff. Yeah, definitely soundtrack. I like soundtrack vibe.
Nice.
Yeah,
Amazing. Is there any, if you had a chance to pick any artist, both alive and not alive, from this continent, from any other continent, that you could play a show with, any particular one, who would it be?
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
¿Sabes?
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, man. Not a lot of people know Rodriguez, but he's huge. He's my favorite.
Yeah,
His biggest inspiration as far as like persona, infamous, mystery, and all that jazz wrapped up into just a good songwriter who's just trying to play his guitar.
Yeah,
I love that.
Beautiful
Yeah.
folk songwriting. And
Yeah.
you have a lot of that. Well, it's electrical too, but you have a lot of that folk
Yeah.
imagery coming.
I would have brought an acoustic up with me if I knew we were gonna do something like this. Yeah. But it actually worked out. This is it's the first guitar I ever bought off a friend for a couple $100 or a few $100. But she's good. She's sturdy. She works.
She held the job.
Yeah.
Back to the acoustic, actually.
Sure.
I saw a set you and Ava have actually on
Yeah.
the Flora Farms, and it's a beautiful song to begin with. But the question I want to bring in is back to places. Is you have a song in there in Spanish?
Yeah.
It's, I'm a Spanish speaker myself. I would just like to ask you, what brought you to sing a song in Spanish? What was in the imagery of the Spanish language that you found that was just particular to that, or what was the reason that you brought it into the language?
That was our second time. My second time I went back to Nicaragua after spending so much time there. I had to take a couple friends with me. So I took Ava and our friend Stu and our buddy Frankie, and we rented this little house on a fruit farm, and it had this like long like winding trail to get through all these leaves. And so I just happened to write that song, just kind of improvising on the guitar. She sees me through the leaves, la da 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 da, and then I would go play it at the open mic in town. Like that's what we do. When I was in Nicaragua, every Wednesday I'd run the open mic at the little bar on the beach, and I'd sit there and play for like 4 hours because no one wanted to play. They're all too shy or drunk. I'm like, come on, anybody, one chord, who knows it? Like, and but yeah, I'd sit there for hours and just play every song I knew, covers, and have to like sit on on Wi-Fi and learn new songs for the night, and just wrote that song. So I had to have one Spanish song for all my Spanish-speaking friends in Nicaragua.
Of course.
They would all ask me like, yo, Max, we love your voice, we love your music, but we don't know what you're saying. And I'm like, all right, guys, I got you. I'll write you a song in Spanish. So I kind of just wrote it in English, used a little translation, and tried to make it sound as grammatically correct as I could, and flow on both English and Spanish, and kind of put a little double play on there for both speakers.
Nice.
Yeah, I really want to do a full band recording of AMEV. The acoustic's nice, and I recorded it down there on my shitty computer. I'm sorry. Yeah, and like particularly, I think those iPhone headphones, but our live version of it, it's usually what we open our sets up with, and it's a fun time. It's a good song. It's really drawn out live. It's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, that was for my friends in Gigante Bay. Yeah.
Nice. Project wise, I know you guys. I mean, I know you have an EP from last year, but it sounds like you got something coming up. Do you have a set deadline for it, or is whenever there's time to record it, or is it in the works?
Yeah, it just being mastered this week.
Oh, bet.
So yeah, I just spent like kind of like the last month bouncing in and out of this guy's studio recording it, and just got mixed, and we're gonna master it out this week. Call it Just Love, package it up nicely, and then release it after the new year, like in January, February.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I'll probably put out a couple singles before this year ends.
Yeah.
Get something in 2019.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you're in the perfect season because, at least from what I just heard, a lot of your music right now is very focused on. I don't want to be generic and just say love, but it's very much on the holding down aspect, having your special someone next to you, or making sure you don't lose them and stuff like that. So it's perfect timing to come up with those songs. What got you into the mood for these? So it's just what's coming out right now as a songwriter, or that's where you're at right now?
Yeah, I think it's just where I'm at as a person.
Gotcha.
Trying to really understand like what love is, and like. Or I'm just finally acknowledging and seeing how much it like fuels how we get around day to day. Like you're not gonna buy like a cool looking shirt if you didn't love it. Like, it's all there. You could feel love into every little part of it. Like even if this chair is uncomfy, I don't love this chair. It's still there. Like it's always gonna be there.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, new songs are recorded. What was the question?
You pretty much answered it already.
Okay,
no
sweet. All right.
No
I'm so sorry. I lost my train.
No worries. No worries.
This is like about the most formal and exciting interview I've done.
I mean, I'm glad you take us as formal, but really, this is
No, but
this
like,
is, this is really
sitting in 2 chairs with 2 cameras and 2 microphones, that's too formal for me. I'm just kidding. That's good.
Hey, this is just appearances. We're really more like here at the KPSU family.
you guys are rad.
We're
This is
just
awesome.
here trying to keep it nice and
You feel
tight.
it,
The
you feel
community.
it,
Yeah, for sure. And once again, thank you for showing. My audience, any questions for Blackpool? Any doubts that you have on the music? Any clarifications on the lyrics you'd like to have? No? Okay.
Thanks for having me on.
I still got questions, so don't worry.
Okay. Let's talk.
See, now I lost track, but I guess going back to musically wise and stuff. Do you want to switch over themes anytime soon, or do you still have you feel how you have a lot to explore where you are right now, or where, like, again, looking to the future, like where do you want to take your music? Not, I don't want to say like where do you see your music in like 5 years, 10 years, nothing like that, but like do you see like the new variation in your music you can take?
Yeah. You kind of brought my train of thought back. A lot of love songs on the previous records, and Here for Now was kind of in a sense, a breakup album. Kind of like I was encapsulating like a relationship I had for a long time. And this new one it's about love, but they're not necessarily love songs. It's like the power of love, not just a romantic song. Like Hold On is like kind of my crack at writing a song about addiction, and I'm kind of just talking to myself that whole song. And a few of them are kind of about just the power of like technology of coming into our lives so prevalently, like it's attached to our hand, like it's a part of us now essentially. It's what the one song, like They Say They Know, is a little bit about. So I'm kind of trying to steer towards like let's start looking at the bigger picture, which is where I'd like to just send that positive message, like about life. Yeah. So, but not too political or too crazy. Just like
just talk about life.
Simple guidelines. Yeah. Just like, but let's open up a conversation about it. If anything, like, it shouldn't be something we can't talk about.
Yeah, of course.
Like, why are we here?
No, of course. And as you say, love is in everything. So like a way to like to open up, more to open up, like to share your image of how you see love everywhere with what you feel like the world is not sharing with you at the same moment. You know.
For sure.
That's how I'm taking it right now.
I know.
but yeah. Um, what else? I have plenty of questions, but well, I'm trying to avoid this question, but I'm gonna have to ask it because you mentioned Rodriguez. Have you gotten the chance to listen to boleros in Spanish?
I maybe heard a song, but
Gotcha.
that's the thing with me is I'm back in high school and stuff. I would have really dove into band and like known the names of the popular ones at the time, and then some cool ones that I kind of would keep to myself. But now I just see it or I hear it on shuffle, and it just comes and goes, and I don't get the name, I don't get the thing. So maybe I've heard about it. I'll especially check it out.
If you hear it, you'll remember it. But
maybe,
like
yeah, you'll have to write it down for me. We'll listen to it. Yeah.
Of course. No, because a lot of when we're talking about the imagery of love in music and stuff, it's as you said, you're not specifically talking about like the just pure the love, the relationship, or just one on one and stuff, but overly love. But a lot of what those songs have in common with is because of the times and because of the way they're written and stuff. There's a lot of imagery in them that you're talking about the feeling of love, but you never mention the person
just
directly.
describing what a bird looks like or something.
Exactly,
right? Yeah.
exactly. So, I wonder if you got a chance to listen to that.
I will check it out for sure.
Yeah. And touring wise, once again, we need to have you back here in the Pacific Northwest. Trust
Definitely,
me.
yeah.
I'm hoping you enjoying
Yeah, we'll be
your
back.
Portland visit.
For sure.
There's plenty to discover. But where else would you like to go touring next? I know you said you want to go back down south. Anywhere else you'd like to spread out the word?
Yeah, we'll probably it'd be great to get over the East Coast. Probably not anytime soon because it's about to be cold for a while.
They just got a snowstorm over there,
like
man.
how cold we all get. Yeah. But it'd be great to go to the East Coast, see some friends in New York, see the people in New York, and along that stretch. And I'll go anywhere, man. Like if there's a demand, we'll supply the music. Yeah.
But from the way you see the world already, what place really, I won't say needs your vision of music, but what place would you really like to, do you feel that really you would like to share your vision of music right now? It could be anywhere in the world. Could even be in Mars if you like. But anywhere in that you like to, that you feel
Mars
would benefit. You would benefit and they would benefit from your vision of music.
I don't know how ticket sales would be on Mars, but yeah, you know what? I've been saying for a little over a year now, the next big international trip I was going to take was Asia. I was like, I need to go to Asia and check it all out and go not just to China or not just to Japan, go Indonesia, go to Thailand, check out. I want to go to everywhere. And sure enough, we're kind of putting the works together for February to go overseas to Asia and do 5 major cities, me and Dino rocking around China maybe not China, but at least go to Japan and Thailand and stuff.
Nice.
But so yeah, that's kind of where I would really love to go. Yeah.
I like.
Just because of the culture, the style, the food, everything. I'd love to see it. And I think they like Blackpool over there. I think I've got some listeners over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Where can the listeners get your music? I mean, of course, obviously through Spotify and
Yeah.
stuff, but anywhere else, anywhere else particular you have your music out right now?
We're anywhere you can find it online, I'm sure. Whatever your preference is. But we're working on doing some hard press vinyls of both Hove and Parata and Here for Now on one side, one on the other side. So we'll have some actual hard copy music to get a hold of. But yeah, YouTube, I'm sure we're gonna start pumping out some videos and getting some. I stole my dad's camera. I didn't steal it. I kind of just took it. I'm gonna put it back. I borrowed it. Yeah. Borrowed the Canon, and so we've been grabbing shots in the woods through Humboldt and up in Oregon and Seattle. It's been so cool.
Nice.
So we're gonna start putting some more content out there and get some music videos down.
I like.
So YouTube will be a little popping hopefully soon enough. Yeah.
I like you. Quick sidetrack, but you were talking about soundtracks earlier.
Yeah.
Do you have a movie in mind that you want to go with the music, or that's just the way the music flows with you? It's more like soundtrack, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's more just that idea of a soundtrack. Yeah. But there are some good soundtracks out there. We were just talking about Into the Wild, the Eddie Vedder soundtrack for that. Yeah, it's so good.
It is.
Yeah. She just saw it for the first time. She came over. She was like, "You guys seen that movie Into the Wild?" I was like, "Yeah, when I was 14." Yeah, no, yeah, it's good. That's a good one. That's a good.
Nice. Well, Rahul, thank you once again for joining us here at
My
KPSU.
pleasure.
It was an honor to host you here on the show. as you guys heard, his music is available on all main streaming services, Spotify. Project coming out soon.
Just
Some
Love.
singles coming out later this year. Just Love coming out next year. So if you need a perfect reason to chill one night and just listen to a fine tune of musical lyricness just coming your way with a nice cup of tea, preferably accompanied, I suggest y'all listen to it. Yeah. Thank you once again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, man.
We'll be happy to have you here again. Let us know when you're around town again.
Will do.
For sure. And no, thank you so much. Once again, one more round
My
of applause.
pleasure. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.